Hi everyone, welcome to Kat's Creations live on a Friday night, where tonight I'm going to teach you how to create a bow. For most people, it's the biggest challenge in wreath making that they face, and a lot of people simply opt out of adding bows because they struggle at bow making. So we're going to do 2 bows tonight. I'm going to walk you through my recipe, the one that I use consistently. And you can adapt the recipe just like you can adapt a recipe to anything. You can swap out chocolate chips and put peanut butter chips in but you can still follow the chocolate chip cookie recipe and just substitute. So same thing here. And you can vary this. This is just my formula, my recipe for what works for me. So if you are a first-time viewer, let us know. I'd like to welcome you to our Facebook page. If you want to save this tutorial, and I think that you will definitely want to save it, especially if you're struggling with the bow making. The only thing that I can say is keep doing it. Don't give up just because it gets frustrating after the first 1 or 2 attempts. So I'm going to show you a handful of different tools that are going to be useful. But the very first thing that I thought I would capitalize on at the very beginning of our tutorial is the recipe, right? Go over the recipe, pull up the ingredients, and then I'm going to show you how we're going to put it all together. So what you will need, these are the ingredients, will be 2 2.5-inch ribbons, and then you will need 4 rolls of 1.5-inch ribbons. So this is a 6 ribbon bow. And a lot of people panic because of cost, and they're like, well, isn't that going to elevate my cost? Not really, because you're using the same amount of materials, but in using 6 different ribbon choices, you're actually using less of them than if you were to say just pick 2 and just like double that. Like if you had just 1 roll of 2.5-inch and 1 roll of 1.5 inch. You can still follow the recipe all the way through. It'll just look a little different. And then I've outlined the 6 steps here. So this is what I'm going to be referring to as we go through and put together our bow. What this does is it's going to yield you an 11-inch, based on the loop size, not the tail size, an 11-inch loop size diameter bow. So if you're looking for a bow about 11 inches, this is going to be perfect. It's the one that I basically put on almost all of my wreaths. And I might change the recipe a little bit. I might go all 1.5 inch ribbon if I have a big sign but don't have an awful lot of space for the bow, and I want to kind of bring the size down just a little bit. It's still 11 inches in diameter, but it doesn't feel as big.
Hi all. Another good tip for you gals is if you're watching right now either on your laptop or your tablet or your phone, take a screenshot of this. So you've got a photo of it and you can refer to it.
Yeah, that's a great tip. So screenshot, you have the recipe. I'll be referring to it back and forth, but I thought I would put this up there first. So with this, what we're going to do is I always use wired ribbon. So this is going to be basically put it together. Then I'm going to teach you how to fluff it, because you can use the fluff portion of it to pass along to all your customers when they get their wreaths, or they may store them and need a refresher mini course on how to fluff up their bow to get that ready looking for an amazing new season.
So give us a thumbs up if you've gone ahead and taken a screenshot of it.
Awesome, yes. So let me show you the ones that I'm using. So I'm going to do a fall one, and then we're going to do a whimsical Christmas one. So I'm going to use this 2.5 inch. This is a foil on top of the green canvas, so it's 2.5 inch. Then I'm going to use this Thankful ribbon. It's kind of like fall leaves on a white canvas. Then I'm going to do an orange rust type of canvas ribbon. Then I'm going to do the green, the orange, and the cream, just sticking in that 3 different color palettes We're going to pop back in a moss green, and then we're going to do the fall plaid. So I always say, in your ribbon inventory, do not forget the value of how important just solid colors are. Solid colors are going to definitely elevate your ribbon because we all get caught up in the pretty colors and the patterns. And then sometimes it feels like it's too much. How do I know which ribbons are going to go together? You know, with ribbon making, patterns and colors go better together in a bow than they would if you were doing your own outfit. Like you can mix stripes with plaids, with dots, with solids. It all works.
Simone asked a good question. I've never asked you, Kat, but is there a reason why you only use 2.5 inch size ribbon in your bows?
Most of the time it's the 2 that I alternate when I'm doing my ribbon tails. So it's usually those 2 that are introduced in the outside of the ribbon. I reintroduce them in the bow to tie it all together. But plus, you can switch it up.
Plus your 4 bows that you end up making out of those 2.5 inch, right? That's like the base of your bow.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. It fluff, gives it body.
And you can, like I said, it's just a recipe. You can substitute at any time. This is just what works for me. So this is what we're going to work off to tonight. So the gold foil on the green came from Personally Yours on, she has her own website. It's plywresigns.com. And then the Thankful ribbon is from Craft Outlet. The solid russet, the solid moss, and the fall platter, all from Hobby Lobby this year. So these are really great to pick up, especially now that they're 50% off and they're a full 30-foot rolls. And then the diagonal fall plaid is from Crinkle Designs, and you can pick those up on their website as well. They have 50% off of all their ribbons. So I'm just going to reorient these, and we're going to go ahead and start with our green foil. I'm using my Bow Dabra. It was the very first bow maker that I started with, because when you're starting off in wreath making, it's all going to be about money. How much money you can invest in a bow maker, how much money you can pay for your ribbon. So the Bow Dabra was relatively inexpensive. It was back in the days when Hobby Lobby still had their 40% off coupon, but you can also get them at Michael's and Joann's and use coupons on them. You can order them online through Amazon and some other online retailers as well. I like it because it's small, it's compact. For a wreath maker, space is always going to be a premium. So anything that I can get that fits in a square or a rectangle is a bonus for me. So keeping these squared, it's small, it's easy to just kind of tuck and fit where I need it to. And it's exactly what you'll need in order to make angel tree toppers or to hold ribbon or flex tubing so it doesn't roll off the table. You can just slide it on the inside. So let's get started. Okay, first thing you're going to do is a dovetail edge. So some people call them ducktails. Some people call them fishtails. It's all the same process. You're just going to take and fold your wired edges together. And then you're going to cut from the wired side to the wired end. Folded side to the wired point. And depending upon how deep you want that V to come up in your ribbon determines your starting point on that fold. So I like mine fairly deep. So that is your finished edge. Your Christmas packages will never look more amazing this year. So following our recipe, we are doing a 10-inch tail with a 5.5-inch loop. What that means is we're going to put it on our start line here after we've dovetailed. We're going to, right here at the 10-inch mark, you're going to gather and you're going to twist. And then you're going to place that right inside your Bow Dabra. So we start with the pretty side up or the right side up, and then as we twist, we go to the wrong side. Okay, then we're going to go up and over, and you're just going to twist, place that inside. And what I like to do is keep my Bow Dabra, because you have this edge here, if you place that right on the 10, when you go to pull your loop out, this is what I'm talking about, 5.5 inch loop. I need this to wind up right here, which is right on 5.5 inches. Okay, then we're going to do it on the other side. And like any good recipe, yes, you can substitute, but if you want the quality that you've gotten used to, you stick to the recipe. So I am going to, right now it's only at 5, so I'll come in here and make a slight adjustment, get that right at 5.5, and then I'm going to pull this back out another 10 inches. We'll cut this.
Sandy, the mat is from Walmart, but you can get them in any kind of crafting supply store like Michael's or Joann's, and they're in the quilting section. It is a fabric self-healing
mat. So it is a Fiskars if you want the brand. So it's dark on one side with all the measurements, and then if I was to flip this up and kind of peel it back, it's light on the opposite side with dark. So whatever your preference is. And then
they're amazing to use.
Just don't use your wood burning tool directly on top, or place your glue skillet on your cutting mat because it warps them. So we've taken out our first one. Our second one is going to be a 9.5 inch tail.
Valerie asked, will you scan this for the thread group so we can print it out?
Yes, I will. I never really considered that before until people are like, well, we want your recipe for bow making. And it's like, well, it's just, it's super simple. You can alter it, you can substitute, and you guys have seen me do that on several different wreath making tutorials. I will substitute. Sometimes I go all 6. Sometimes I might make a slight adjustment, and that is a really ugly cut. So I'm going to fix that. Sometimes using your good scissors just causes things to slide. So right there, let's get a precise cut. And it still wants to slide, but we're back on a good cut. Okay, so thankful it's all going horizontally. There is a tool, like a method that you would use. This is where I would say this is advanced bow making, because it requires you to do a little bit of manipulating. Most of the time what I see people do when they have a ribbon that they want to keep going in the same direction is they'll go as far as they can, which means, okay, let's follow the recipe, 9.5 inches up. Watch what happens as we twist. And if we were to bring this back, immediately we have thankful here, but now all of our writing is upside down. So what you can do is you measure it out, 9.5 inches. I'm going to take what's in my right hand and just slide it over to my left and bring this all the way back to the beginning. Now, knowing that I need a 5-inch loop, 5 inches and 5 inches is 10. So I'm going to take it right here on 10 so that when I double it, there's my 5-inch loop. Okay, I'm going to bring it back again, measure out the other 10 inches for the other side. I'm going to bring this back, and then I'm going to measure out 9.5 inches. So I'm just going to cut that right there. Okay, so wording is the same. Wording is the same. Hold on a second. Let me get this one. I'm trying to remember how we got it. There, nope. Hang on a second. This always takes me a couple ties. So 9.5, move it over, 10. It's this part right here we have to kind of flip. Hang on a second, I have to remember how to do it. It's like this is those muscle memory thing. Explaining it and trying to teach it is two totally different things. Give me a second. Maybe if I don't talk, it'll just go right into.
Oh, can you hold it over the thing?
Yeah, hang on a sec. I'm trying to actually get it. So here we go. Here we go. It's like this transition that has to happen. I need this. Oh, hang on a sec. Nope. See, now I've got the bows upside down. So something has to twist.
Pamela said I just twist upside down loop after it's made.
Yeah, and somebody, you know, that is definitely something that you can do. There we go. That's what it is. Thankful. There we go. So you have to build it on the outside and then you have to place it back in. So I'm just going to double check all of my loop lengths just to be on the safe side, because when you do that little hand bow, like here's my loop, it's at 5. Let's make sure this one's at 5 and it's not. So let me go ahead and pull from here. Right at 5.
John said, I'm going through scissors all the time. What brand kind of scissors do you use for cutting wire ribbon?
Betty Crocker Dollar Tree scissors. So I have literally a pair of these. So I just, usually when I go to the Dollar Tree, I will grab like 5 and then I'm good for about the whole year. So we have to dovetail again.
And thank you for sending the stars. You sent 500 stars.
Thanks, Anna. So the stars this month are going towards supporting family at Thanksgiving. So we're using all the stars money that we collect this month to offer however many families based on the money collected to buy them a Thanksgiving meal of their choice. So we've got both of those down. So that's just something super simple that you can do. Like, who was it that says that she does the twist? Was it Mary?
Pamela.
Pamela?
Pamela, yeah.
So you can,
upside down loop after it's made.
yeah, and you can do that. What she was saying is this. So let's say, for example, we're doing it, making it our way, right? Let's do the twist. Okay, let's go up and over. Here's our twist. So right now we have thankful one direction and our ribbon here. I'm going to go ahead and complete the steps and then show you what she's referring to. So let's make sure we're at 5 and then back out here. So let's look at all the things that are right. We have this is right, this is right, this is right, this is upside down. She's saying if you simply take it and twist it, now all of your words are going in the same direction. There's just no twist in that. It's just like you're kind of laying it together. Okay, next ribbon, which is going to be, and I should have put this in here. Let me change my, find my little formula thingy. So this one's going to be 2.5 inch. This one is 2.5 inch. And then the last 4 are going to be all 1.5 inches. Just so you guys know, this is what I do. Okay. Because that wasn't in the recipe. Like, oh, which bow are you doing? 10 inches. Oh yeah, I never explained that. So again, dovetail edge. We're doing 9 inches for our tail. Are you able to see this fine? Yeah. Okay, I'm just making sure.
I zoomed in so they could see the paid piece of paper.
Okay.
And I zoomed back there.
So up and around. This one is a 4.5 inch loop. So always bring it back and double check. It's easier to make the adjustments here than to try to readjust your ribbon when it's already in the stack. Okay, so this one's at 4 and 4.5 and back out to 9. Dovetail our edge. There we go.
And those Betty Crocker scissors actually are pretty heavy duty.
Yeah.
They last quite a while.
And they're very sharp. Yeah, they're very sharp when you first get them. Let's put that one over there. Okay. Actually, I was supposed to put the orange in. So this is where, just set it there. I have to make the slight adjustment because that was ribbon number 3. So we're going to do this. Just because I want my solids to go in between the print. So this one was 9.
Yeah, that's true. Normally you do the 2.5 inch first, the 2 of them up. Normally you do the 2.5 inch first.
I did.
Okay.
I just,
okay,
this
I didn't
one.
see the bottom one.
Yeah. Okay, there's this one. Always bring it back. 4.5.
Happy Friday, everyone.
Here we go again. 4.5. Back out to 9. So the only adjustment I'm going to have to make in ribbon number 4 is just shorten my tails by 1/2 inch. So I'm just going to cut those.
Kathleen Berman said, love watching your bow making. I think I'm getting better.
Just, you know what's funny is one day it'll just click. One day you're just making a bow and you're like, I got it. Oh my God, I got it. And from then on in, you are 100% good as gold. So the next one is 8.5. So this is ribbon 4. And we're doing 4.5 inches. So here's a shortcut. Because you've already measured the 4.5 inch here, just put your fingers in the top and pull until they're both the same. Up and over. Measure them here. And then we're still going to measure this out to 8.5. I'm going to do a slight trim off of that. Because remember, it was just a touch over. So that's ribbon number 4. Now we're going ribbon number 5, which is going to be an 8-inch tail and a 4.5 inch loop. Dovetail first. So 8-inch for a tail. We're going to flip it. This is going to be a 4-inch loop. So we need to make sure we're bringing that right at 4 inches. Flip up and around. Make sure this one is right there. And then back out to 8. These make for great items to put on your table. Because as a wreath maker, it's kind of hard sometimes to come up with things to put on a table. But consider selling bows in doubles or trios. I sold a lot of my ribbons already for people for their mantle decor, Christmas packages, even their own wreath, because they just wanted the simplicity of having a bow already done. Last one. This is a 7.5 inch tail with a 3.5 inch loop. So we're going to go here, 7.5 in. We're twisting.
Yeah, yes, they have. She said, do customers ever request you to make a bow only?
Yes, I've had several requests.
Especially the big Christmas tree bows.
Yeah, tree toppers. Just to make, most of them are like staircase banister bows. You know, they have a certain look. They might even send you the rolls of ribbon. because they already have it picked out, and they're like, hey, can you make me, you know, 3 whatever size bows. So I want to just double check.
Someone said, what would you sell the bows for? It just depends.
Depends on your ribbon, but most of the time I sell a pair for $25. And then remember, if you're at a show, bring some ribbon and let people pick out their own ribbon and just handcraft their bow for them while they wait. It's a really good opportunity for you to kind of interact with your customers. And so, fasteners, choices. You can put all this together with floral wire. You could zip tie the entire thing together. I prefer pipe cleaners because my hands have decreased in strength over the years, but that's just my choice. If you do, I'm looking for a pipe cleaner color. If you do a zip tie, make sure that you don't forget to include your pipe cleaner in there, because you're going to need a way to secure it to your wreath. So the whole thing, you're going to take your thumbs on both sides, you're putting your hands underneath just like this and compressing, okay, as you pull this up. Now you're just going to maneuver it to one hand. I forgot to do this. I usually always get my pipe cleaner ready. You're going to drop your pipe cleaner right down in the center. I hold it at the bottom and then twist the whole stack, because it's just easier to do that way. Okay, so now our ribbon is done, right? This is where the fluffing part comes in to play, because a ribbon can only look so good until it's fluffed. So a long time ago, people came up with, what are they, fluff boxes? Elevated boxes that were weighted that allowed you to fluff your bowl. I loved it, but the thing was is it wasn't big enough for me. I need a lot of space to work. Look, I'm still even moving stuff out of my way. So what I wanted was something that would allow me to maneuver all of my ribbons in place without this sliding around, without me having to hold it with one hand. How can you fluff it with a one hand? Well, Steve took a cutting board that we had. It was a 24 by 24 inch cutting. Was ours 24 by 18?
Yeah.
We still have it somewhere. Anyway, if you go to the pre-cut lumber places like Lowe's or Home Depot or Ace or stuff like that, a lot of times they have a 24 inch by 24 inch by 1 inch thick pre-cut pieces of wood. That's perfect. While you're there, pick up a little C-hook or a cup hook. This is 1.5 inches to 2 inches. Screw it into the center of your wood and you have a fluff board. Not only is it heavy, all this is going to do is create a surface for you to fluff your bow. If you have one custom made, like I had a friend custom make this one for me, it also makes for a really pretty presentation board for when I go to take my photos to list the bows for sale. So it's all nice and pretty. It has dual purposes. So all I'm going to do is catch right here underneath the bottom my pipe cleaner. So I'm just going to slide this in. It's just going to catch right underneath my C-hook. Okay. And now we begin the fluffing. So this is the top of our stack, bottom of our stack. So when I'm referring to it, I'll say, go to the top, do this. Go to the bottom, do this. We are going to separate everything starting from the bottom of our top stack. So we're taking the loop and it's going to the left, the tail going to the right. Now go to the bottom part of your stack. So go down here and find the same ribbon. You're going to move your tail out to the left and the loop to the right. This way our loops and our tails are in opposite directions of each other. That's exactly what you want as you bring every single ribbon down. Now we're going to go with the second one. We'll pull our thankful here. Here's our loop. we're going to pull our tail to the left, go to the bottom, find the same ribbon and do opposites. So the tail is going to go to the right, our loop is going to the left. Now what this has done is it has alternated the colors and patterns of loops and tails all the way around with the first two ribbons. And look, nothing is fluffed. Everything is flat. So we're not fluffing yet, we're separating. So I'm simply going to follow my colors. So here's I'm following the green with the orange. Go over to the bottom. We're going to take opposites. Okay, go back up to the top. Now we're going loop to the right, tail to the left. Go back over here, opposite. Loop to the left, tail to the right. Following suit, we're taking loop to the left, tail to the right. Going back over, loop to the right, tail to the left. Last one, loop to the right, tail to the left. Here we go, loop to the left, tail to the right. Everything is flat. You can decide which way you want to fluff it. So as a designer, you pick and choose now as we get ready to fluff. We're going to start with the two loops at the top. So start with the ones right here at the top. Pick them up, put your fingers through them, and get the loop to go completely round. You don't want them pointed and flat. You just want to open them nice and pretty. Do the same to the other side. Don't worry about the tails. Ignore the tails for now. Okay, so we're going to go these two. Then you have your next two, right? There's only a total of 6 loops on each. So decide, do you want this to go in between and then have this one out to the side? Or do you want this one to the side and maybe this one in between? It's up to you as a designer. So I'm going to leave them the way they were. I'm going to pull this one over.
Penny said, thank you for showing us this.
You're so welcome.
Wreaths by Richard. Hey, Richard said, just love your bows.
Thank you. So I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm just grabbing the next set. If you notice, it's a little bit different. I have the rust coming through here. Here I have the diagonal plaid. And then I'm going to pull my rust over to the side. And now the bottom. We are just going to pick and open these. Put your whole 4 fingers in them. Really lift and give them a beautiful fluff. Same thing on this side. Fluff. And fluff. And then just go through, look at it as you're looking through the top. You know, move things around to where it's in a position that you like. It's whatever you want. And then from here with our tails, remember the curling ribbon back in the day? We're doing the same thing with our fingers. You're just going to run that ribbon right through your fingers. And you're going to put that little curl back in the loops or the tails. So this way it'll cascade around your wreath or around their banister.
That's what really gives life to the bows.
Yes. Just like that. It's a little harder to get to the bottom ones, but you get my point. And then from here, you just make everything all nice and pretty.
Richard said, do you find people like multi-ribbon bows better than single ribbon bows?
You mean like one solid color? Yeah, I do. I think people like the little mix because then they can pick and choose. Like I can choose to do this with all orange decor with just little pops of green, or I could do green with little pops of orange or browns or whatever color. So see, now this is perfect for the bow. It sits on the board just perfect. you can see that everything is, you know, measured out equally on this particular bow, and that's bow making 101.
They said that's gorgeous.
Isn't that pretty? And that would look great on, you know, a bathroom mirror, on a wreath, on your stair banisters covered with fall garland. So, okay, that one's in the books. Ready for Christmas? What questions do you guys have right now that I can answer you before we start the Christmas one? So I'll give you guys just...
They said gorgeous. Suzanne said beautiful.
I'll give you guys some time.
It almost looks like Dollar Tree might have changed their brand, because the one woman said that they were McCormick scissors. They look exactly like the Betty Crocker scissors.
Oh, really?
So yeah, they might have changed their brand.
As long as they're red and white
like that,
with the little, I guess that would be bone cutter, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yep, I got a call from Home Depot.
Okay, so the ideal ribbon for you to practice on, Dollar Tree ribbon. Why? Because it's inexpensive. You can sit here and just play with, you know, 6 different rolls of ribbon. It costs you all of what, it's now $1.25, so I'm having to do the math, $7.50 for 6 rolls of ribbon. And you could just sit here and yield a ton of beautiful bows. Or you can go to Sam's or Costco if you have it. You can buy the big, these are 50-yard rolls, which are about 5 times the ones that I just used. So you can just play with 1 roll of ribbon. I think they're, somebody help me if I'm incorrect, $7.99 for the roll of ribbon, or $6.99. I think they used to be $6.99. Now they went up to $7.99. We're going to do a little whimsical believe with the little reindeer on it. So this obviously is from Sam's Club. Then I'm going to do this black and white. I love the ribbon with the little chenille furry edge. So we're going to go black, white, and red with just little pops of green here. So 2.5, same formula. I've got my 2 2.5-inch ribbons. And then my 4 rolls of 1.5. I'm going to use this black, white, and red raised stitching ribbon. This is 1.5. This is from Kringle Designs as well. Then I'm going to use the snowflake. It's an iridescent white snowflake. And then our final one pair. Quite a few different, they used to be sign makers and now they've expanded to supplies. So Craft Outlet's usually my go-to source for ribbon because they have so much. Prices are very reasonable. The shipping, to get free shipping, is the lowest. It's $69 to qualify for free shipping. So it's really easy for me to hit a $70 order of ribbon and have it all shipped for free. And they usually get it to me within about 3 to 5 days. So that's really good if you're in a hurry. But Kringle Designs is another win. And then Personally Yours or PLY Resigns. She has kits, she has ribbons, she has signs. So look both of those up. And then Sam's obviously is the other option. I'm right now, you guys see me do this all the time. I will pick and choose what I want as far as my ribbon. And I kind of lay them out so that, you know, they kind of intermix. So I'm kind of looking for like black. This is kind of black. This is kind of black. So about every third one. Rule of thumb when deciding on color. I always say pick 3, no more than 4. So in this case, we're doing red, white, and black with just a little touch of green. Sometimes it's crazy because you get a really great sign and it has so many different colors. How do you pick which 3 or 4? I always say go for the more predominant one, or in a crunch, pick the one that you have the ribbons for. If you already have red, white, and black, go with red, white, and black. Oh, but my sign has green in it. It's great. Let the green pop because it's sitting on everything else that is relatively neutral, and that green is going to stand out a little bit more. Okay, so we're going to follow our recipe again. I'm going to move those up. I'm going to grab my phone to ensure that I'm able to read your questions. Actually, let me do it on my tablet. Oh, Kim says looking for my AirPods so I can watch it live while watching a movie with my hubby. This is great. Thank you. You are so welcome. So remember, if you guys want to keep this, these are one of those things that are like, hey, this is a really great tutorial. I'm going to use it all year long. Just click the share button below. It'll put it on your Facebook page, and you'll have it handy when you're ready to make bows. Okay, so we are going to start our 10-inch tail with a 5.5-inch loop, but we do the dovetail first. Here we go. Just like that. This one should go a lot quicker because we've already outlined the entire process. So we're doing 10 inches. We're going to go ahead and place that inside. We're doing 5.5-inch loops.
People say, can you say where the ribbon is from again?
Sure. Okay, this ribbon, the black and white with the snowflakes, is Craft Outlet. Then both of the reindeer, whether it's the 2.5-inch or the 1.5 inch, are both from Sam's Club. The red, white, and black, is from Kringle Designs. The snowflake is from Craft Outlet, and the black with the white dots is from Personally Yours. So up and over, we're doing 5.5-inch loops. I'm going to post some random questions to you guys. Feel free to jump in if you know the answer. Can you vary this recipe with any type of ribbon you'd like? Could you do all 6 2.5-inch ribbon and still follow this recipe? So we're out 5.5.
So you're asking them?
I am asking them. This is the interactive stage of our tutorial. And YouTube subscribers, I know you guys are catching this on a Facebook replay, but feel free to answer as well.
Colette said yes.
Yes, by all means. Just like any recipe, you're free to substitute your ingredients. And that's all this is.
Thank
ingredients.
You for Colette. She said 100 stars too. Yeah. Valerie said yes. Anna said yes.
Yes.
Kathy, they're all saying yes.
Yes. Could you use one ribbon and go through the entire thing? Like if I just chose to go through and use the 2.5-inch and follow the entire recipe all the way through, can I do it just with one roll of ribbon? Next one is 9.5 inches. Always twist.
And they're saying yes.
Yes, you can. Because these are all the questions I get. Can I do it with just one ribbon? Can I change this up? Can you change the lengths of your tails and the lengths of your loops to make your bow? So my loop size is going to be 5 inches while you guys are answering that. You can tell me.
Candace said yes.
Yes, you can. It may not, like if you don't follow the same exact formula or recipe, you may get a slightly different size diameter. Like you could go 11 inches and then go 10 and a half and 10. You can vary it. It'll just change the size of your bow.
Richard said yes to all.
Yes to all.
Right,
exactly.
But if you're also working on a 24-inch wreath frame for them, you're going to need to upsize the size of your ribbon and your bow.
Right. So if you want a larger diameter, you can definitely do that. And you, like Steve says, you're going to have to, because you're going to want it to yield something slightly different. And I just had a great question, and then I was thinking of it, and then it left the station. Can you, by the time you finish your bow, like this bow here, can you change up the size of your tails? Can you make your tails shorter if you so desire? I had to throw that question out before I forgot it. I'm going to put this one here. Kathy says, do you use 4-inch ribbon? I have done it once, but it will yield a bigger ribbon, a bigger bow. Yeah.
That's for like a big Christmas, like 36-inch.
Yeah, so like when we did the 36-inch evergreen, yes, we used a bigger ribbon because we needed to go big bows. And yes, you're right. You guys can change the look of anything at any time. You can vary recipe. Just remember, if you want it to look like mine, this would be the recipe to yield that exact type of bow. It's a guideline. Yes, it's not a hard, fast rule. So we will pop this. This is our 4.5-inch loop. This is ribbon number 3.
Carl said yes, you can make variation of tails. You can make them longer.
You can make peanut butter. You can make vanilla. You can make sugar cookie. You can add sprinkles, right? Yes, you can.
Gee, that's a good question. Tracy, do you know where I can find Hanukkah accents?
Hanukkah accents. Besides Google, Oriental Trading Company might have some. That would be very inexpensive. Try Craft Outlet, Reese Shop, White Bayou, Deco Exchange, Trendy Tree.
Paper Mart?
No, I don't think Paper Mart. I would try like my top ones, and then Google's going to be my biggest, advocate to, hey, I need to find something specific. I'm going to go to Google and type in exactly. Yeah. Yeah, or Etsy. Okay. This is number 4. We're doing 8.5-inch tail. And matter of fact, if you guys sign up to my email list, I will email you the bow recipe. If you sign up for my email list.
That's in your website.
Yeah. If you go to my website, catscreationsandmore.com, and a pop-up will generally pop up between 30 seconds and 45 seconds. It'll say, hey, come be on my mailing list. If you haven't already signed up, I am going to send that out as a freebie. Right now, I think it's the freebie that you get for signing up for my email newsletter is the top 10 tools every wreath maker needs to have. You get that free. And then I usually send out my email newsletter every Monday afternoon. So it's just once a week. And we're doing 8.5-inch. But I just figured some of you might like this. I think I'm going to like jazz it up a bit and make it look like a recipe card. So it looks really cool. It won't be the size of a recipe card, but it'll look like that.
Kim, I just did. Just like 3 posts above you is the link, or it's pinned at the very bottom. You can click on the pin. It'll take you right to her website.
You can either scroll all the way to the bottom and it says sign up for the mailing list, or you can just wait for the pop-up and put in your email address. Okay, ribbon number 5 is going to be 8 inches with a 4.5 inch or 4-inch loop. I love, this is my other go-to source. So let's say, for example, you're looking for black canvas solid ribbon and you can't find it. Look for Swiss dot. The Swiss dot will be like your go-to in the event that you can't find it in a solid. Or you can opt to go gingham. Okay, so we want 4 inches. And write out 2/8. And I always say save your good scissors for, you know, cutting satin ribbon. But just get those disposable scissors that cost no more than $1.25 to cut all your regular ribbon. Save your good scissors. Okay, last one. 7.5 inches for our reindeer. So cute. I'll have to look and see if I have a sign. One thing I know for certain is I have 2 bows to make 2 more wreaths. So 7.5 inches is our tail length. And then 3.5 inches is our loop length. Flip them. He has a little bit of a fuzzy edge, but not a horrible, like not the Chanel. But that's the reason why I opted to go with this one and the black with the snowflakes.
Linda, yes, the newsletter is free.
Yes, ma'am. And I give you tons of stuff. You get every week, you get all the tutorials you may have missed that were on the public lives. You get advance notice to all the new stuff coming. Okay, this one is done. So much ribbon left. Okay, let's get a black pipe cleaner. Oop. Okay, so here we go.
Debbie said, thank you, you're a great teacher.
You're welcome. Compress. Drop your pipe cleaner in the inside. Hold it down on the bottom and twist.
Kim said, thanks so much. Just joined your email list.
Yay! Okay. Yeah, the email newsletter too is where, besides my private group, if I launch kits, it goes out to our email newsletter folks.
Donna said, just signed up.
Yay! Thanks, Donna. Okay, let's go ahead and secure our stack. And now it's time to separate. Can't wait to see what this one's going to look like. So remember, it doesn't matter if you want to do loop, you know, loop to the right, tail to the left, whatever you do, just make sure on the opposite side, you just follow the opposite.
Just send up your emails. Woohoo. Love watching you make all your creations.
Thank you. Okay, now we're going to go opposite. So we're going to pull. Remember, we did tail to the left, so we're doing loop to the left, tail to the right, tail to the left, loop to the right. Okay? You can always tell it's done correctly because your loops and your tails should alternate. Here's another question. If I wanted, like right now, if I wanted to change it, let's say, for example, I wanted to go this direction instead of this direction. Can I do that? Like if I wanted this to come this way, even though this is, like I just did this one right here, can I do that? Or do I automatically have to go to the right? Question.
Bridget just signed up. Lynn just signed up. That's awesome. Thank you, gals.
Thank you.
Colette said yes.
Yes, you're the designer. Change it however you want. If you want that to go through, absolutely. You can definitely do that. And you guys have seen me do that plenty of times. Because sometimes if I'm doing like the orange and the green, sometimes it just never fails. The green will automatically wind up on the same side. Orange is on the same side. So I will break it up by changing it. Just make sure whatever you do up here, you do the opposite on the bottom so that you're still getting your tails and loops in opposite directions. So just like so.
So Colette, let me check. So she said, could you also send me the list of the 10 top things you need?
Yes,
if you sign up,
ma'am.
I think you automatically get that. Right?
Yes, if you signed up right now, you're automatically going to get the download of the 10 top things every wreath maker needs to have. And then it won't go out in Monday's newsletter because that's already drafted, but it'll go out the following Monday. I'll include the bow recipe in there for everybody.
So Candace, right below, if you click on that link, it takes you to her website. You can sign up to join the mailing list right through there.
Yes, ma'am.
She sent you her email address.
Oh yeah.
It's easier if you just go there.
Because it all gets sent out automatically to everybody.
Yep. And then her private group times are Mondays at 5 p.m. Pacific time. So that's 7 Central, 8 Eastern. And then Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Pacific time. So that's 6 p.m. Central and 7 p.m. Eastern.
Yes, yes, sir. Okay, so I always emphasize this because I always have people go, well, I see you kind of like, as you're pulling your loops around, you're putting your fingers in them. I may do that just to kind of like pull and redirect, but here we go. So remember, top 2. We start on the bottom for separating, but we go to the top for fluffing. So this is how you fluff your bow. So if you buy a bow from me, it's going to come like this. Why? Because it's super inexpensive for me to ship them to you. If you want them all fluffy and fancy, depending upon how big the bow is, it can get rather expensive. So this is how you will fluff your bow when you get it. You'll pull it out of the box and place it on whatever you're doing and start fluffing it, grabbing the top 2, pull and fluff, grab the next 2 down. I'm going to pull this one in between, kind of like the black and white. Here I'm going to go with my snowflakes and pull this one to the other side. Remember, as a designer, you can change whatever color you want. You can move your tails down in here so you have tails that intermix with your loops. It doesn't all have to be loops here and then tails. It's just from a wreath maker's design perspective, it's easier if you're like trying to place it on a sign to have like, this is sign space, this is sign space, and then these are border spaces. So it just makes it easier from...
Simone said, I already received your great newsletter. Would I automatically get the bow recipe?
Yes, you will. I'm sending it out. It will not be this Monday. It'll be the following Monday, which is, it's not the 17th, the 24th. I think October 24th. It'll come in the October 24th newsletter.
That's so funny. If you see the red ribbon, that's the reindeer, right? The white reindeer with the black nose. I'm seeing it upside down, and all I can see is a white jellyfish with a black eye.
Oh, that's funny. So you're seeing jellyfish.
I see a jellyfish.
Jellyfish. This is the eye, and these are the jellyfish. Nice.
That's what it looks like in the camera, too.
So you can take, if you want, you can mix some of your tails in between if you want. It's entirely up to you. Like I said, for me, it's all about design. So if I'm laying a sign here, I don't want to have a tail hanging over my sign. Therefore, it makes it difficult for the customer to read. So I just lay them out this way. And then when it's on the wreath, if you want to change it and move tails around, you can do that. And I'm going to show you real quick too.
Kim, yes. So right in the center of her board that you see is about an inch to inch and a half C-hook.
It's like a cup hook.
Yeah, it's like a cup hook. So you just use that with your pipe cleaner or even your wire if you need to, and you just wire it right into it.
So see, there is our pretty bow, our Christmas bow. Now, here's how you can make a slight adjustment. Let's say you're going to hang this on a wreath and it needs to be at the bottom, which means you can't have tails stretched out to the side. Like, let's say, for example, I'm going to just grab some random sign. It's not going to go. But let's say, for example, here's our sign, right? And we can't have tails going this way. We need to have our tails all cascade down. What you're going to do, your bow's already built, okay? You are simply going to, I'm going to turn this, and I'm going to pull every single tail down to the bottom. So you're going to see me lift the loops, like once I find my reindeer. Here's my snowflake. I'm going to go under. I'm going to do this. Pull it down. Here, this goes over this side. Pull this down. Pull this down. I want to make sure all my tails are down. Okay. So all of our tails now are down. I want to make sure that all of my loops, one of my loops is over here. Hang tight. Okay, this one goes over here. Pull this down. Okay, here's our same exact tails and loops, right? So same bow recipe. This time, oops, this goes over here. This goes over here. We're going to do the same thing. You're just going to pull these up.
Crisscross the bows.
Mm-hmm. You're going to pull this one up. I'm going to pull this up. This one up. Okay. Rather than have these two together, I'm going to, like Steve says, crisscross. So now I'm going to have this one up. This one's going to be down low. I have my snowflake here. Snowflake's coming high. Then this one's going to be here. I'm going to pull this up. And so now our bow is all here at the bottom. And then you're just going to do the same thing with your tails.
Any questions?
And then you just randomly pick where do you want them to fall. And now we have what I call a bottom bow. Same formula, we just moved all the tails down, even after we fluffed. It's much easier to do before you start fluffing. Just pull all your tails down and then just alternate which comes high, which comes low on each of your bows so that it's very centered. And then you're all good to go. And now you have a bottom bow so that when you put your sign up here, it looks much better. And then your tails cascade off your wreath. Okay, what questions do you guys have? I hope you've enjoyed our bow making class. And all I can say, just keep practicing. Don't give up. You know, even if you make this bow and you're like, you know what, I really don't like the little green in here. I found another ribbon, I want to change it up. This is the beauty of having things with a pipe cleaner on them. You just take them off the board. Let me find my C-hook. And then you flip it over. You take your pipe cleaner. You undo it. And as you're pulling the layers out from the bottom, just start feeding it in the bow dabra. Change your color. And then lift it all back up. twist it all back together, and then you're all good for fluffing again. I've done that numerous times, pulled bows apart. Okay, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Thanks for sharing the start of your weekend with me. Don't forget, come back on Sunday. I promise you I'm going to share something incredible with you on Sunday too. So I'll talk to you guys Sunday. We will be here Sunday at 5 Pacific, which is 7 Central, 8 Eastern. So I hope to see you there. Bye for now, everyone.